My childhood friend and I chip in to buy lottery tickets. We win 5 million yuan. But on the night of the drawing, my friend tosses me just 4 yuan. I look down at the coins on the ground. Without a word, I pick them up and pocket them. He thinks I'm a fool. He thinks I'll beg him in tears for a bigger share. He thinks I'll stay his poor sidekick, taking the fall for him. What he doesn't expect is that when I paid for the tickets, I secretly bought 50 more with the same numbers. And I win 200 million. 3 minutes earlier at this lottery kiosk, Marcus crouched in the corner with a pen and a torn newspaper, spending 3 hours working out the numbers. When it came time to pay, he said his WeChat had hit its limit and asked me to scan the code instead. I laughed and said if we win, we split it 50-50. He said, obviously, good brothers always share the fortune. Now the drawing happens. 6 red balls and 1 blue ball match the numbers on the TV screen exactly. We hit the jackpot, 5 million yuan. But he says out of that 5 million, I only get 4 yuan, while he keeps 4,999,996. That's his idea of sharing the fortune. I walk up to the counter, smiling, and pick up the 4 coins from the floor, one by one. Marcus probably didn't expect me to take it this easily. Ryan, don't get any ideas. This luck is mine. The brains behind it are mine too. Get too much money and you won't know how to hold on to it. Take these 4 yuan, buy yourself a soda and call it a lesson. Stop dreaming that pies fall from the sky. His tone is like he's handing out charity. Not only does he swallow the half that should be mine, he climbs onto a moral high ground just to kick me while he's at it. I don't even look at him again. I turn and walk out of the kiosk. I don't argue. I don't make a scene. Not because I'm big-hearted. And definitely not because I'm weak. It's because in the final 30 seconds before sales closed, while Marcus pushed to the front of the crowd to get a spot to watch the live draw, I looked at that set of numbers and felt a sudden, powerful instinct. I stayed at the counter. I pulled out a 100 yuan bill and set it down on the glass counter. What he doesn't expect is that when I paid, I secretly bought 50 more tickets with the same numbers. And I won 200 million. Right now that ticket lies quietly in the pocket sewn against my skin. Through the fabric, I can feel it brushing gently against me. That's the weight of 250 million yuan. Just then my phone rings. Ryan, the rent's due. Pay up or pack your bags. Marcus and I share a rented flat, a rundown place under 40 square meters, 800 yuan in rent each, every month. I turn back and stand outside the lottery kiosk, looking through the grimy glass door at Marcus inside, surrounded by onlookers and jealous lottery players. He thinks he's rewritten his fate. He thinks he's climbed into a new class. Inside, I sneer, Marcus, you think I'm a fool? You think I'd fight you over a few 100,000 left after tax, burn our friendship, even take you to court? Go ahead, spend your 5 million slowly. When it's all gone, you'll finally understand what a real world of difference looks like. I don't go back to that cramped, stifling rental. I'm afraid that if I go back and see Marcus's smug, petty face, I won't be able to hold back my laughter. I check into a budget hotel, a standard room for 100 yuan a night. That night, lying on the stiff mattress, I stare at the ceiling with my eyes wide open. The tickets in my pocket feel like a red-hot iron branding my chest. I don't bother checking how much I'll get after tax. I already know it by heart. At a 20% windfall tax rate, 250 million minus 50 million in tax leaves me with exactly 200 million. This is a sum an ordinary person could work an entire lifetime and never earn. Early the next morning, just before dawn, I put on a mask and a baseball cap and take a car straight to the high-speed rail station. Because the prize exceeds the payout limit of the city lottery center, I have to go to the provincial lottery center. Along the way, my phone won't stop buzzing, all messages from Marcus. That petty, huh? My neighbor, the team leader, is treating me to a big feast. Oh, and I'm done renting that dump. Toss out all my junk in there for me. I'm a rich man now. Not living in a doghouse anymore. Every line drips with the arrogance of overnight wealth, and a smug eagerness to put me down. I stare at the screen without replying, and simply mute the notifications. 2 hours later, I'm standing in front of the provincial lottery center building. I'm shown into an elegantly furnished reception room. The staff member is a director wearing wire-framed glasses, so respectful it almost feels strange. Mr. Cole, please show us the winning ticket and your ID. From the pocket against my skin, I carefully pull out the tickets and hand them over. The director takes them with both hands and places them in the scanner. The machine gives a crisp beep. A long string of numbers pops up on the screen. Mr. Cole, all 50 of your tickets hit the jackpot. Total prize, 250 million. The net cash payout is 200 million. Shall we proceed with the paperwork? My calm seems to shock the director even more. He's probably seen countless winners break down in tears or even faint from excitement, but he's certainly never seen someone facing 200 million yuan without so much as blinking. Of course. Please wait a moment. The process should take about 2 to 3 hours. While I wait, I open my phone. Marcus has already flooded my social feed. The first post shows a heavily blurred winning check, captioned, Fortune's turn, 30 years here, 30 years there. Heaven does have eyes. My riches have finally arrived. The second post shows him slapping his resignation letter down on his supervisor's desk, captioned, Screw the clock and screw the overtime. Starting today, I answer to no one. The third post is a sneaky photo of me. In it, I'm crouched on the balcony of the rental eating instant noodles, my back looking a little shabby. Captioned, "Some people are just born poor. Fussing over 4 yuan. Deserves a lifetime of instant noodles." This post, he made sure not to hide it from anyone. I look at this post he clearly wants everyone to see, meant to make his glorious new image shine brighter. I can't help but laugh out loud. "Mr. Cole, what's so funny?" "Nothing. Just watching a clown dance." I take the pen and stroke by stroke on the thick payout agreement sign my name. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzes once. I look at the long string of zeros in my bank balance and quietly slip the phone into my pocket. Outside, the sunlight is blinding. My new life begins. After leaving the lottery center, I don't go back to that shabby little town. In the busiest CBD of the provincial capital, I take out a long-term lease on a presidential suite at the Intercontinental Hotel. 8,800 yuan a night. When I swipe my card, my hand doesn't even hesitate. I take a hot shower and change into a bespoke suit I picked up on a whim at the luxury boutique downstairs. Standing at the huge floor-to-ceiling window, looking down at the bustling city below, a sense of total control rises from deep inside me. This is the power of capital. Over the following week, I don't rush to get back at Marcus, because I know that the best way to deal with a shallow, small-minded upstart is to let him inflate himself first, inflate until he's at his absolute peak, and then kick him straight into the abyss. I start working with headhunting firms, posting high-paying job listings. My suite becomes a temporary interview room. I want to build a top-tier business team to prepare for the next stage of Windfall Holdings. And during this same week, Marcus goes on a relentless spree, never letting up for a moment. It's as if he wants to purge every ounce of poverty and every hardship he's ever endured, all in just these few days. On my phone, I get his bragging messages every single day. On Tuesday, he sends a photo of a steering wheel, a golden shield emblem, a Porsche Panamera. "Ryan, see this? Paid in full, 1.8 million. This is the smell of real leather seats. You'll probably never smell it in your whole life. Had I known you were this pathetic, I should have been generous that day and tossed you a few hundred more, haha." On Thursday, he sends a close-up of his wrist, a Rolex Submariner, his arm looped around an arm with bright red nail polish. Submariner, 180,000. This girl's a minor influencer. She wouldn't even glance at me before. Now she's glued to me every day, calling me bear. Money really is a wonderful thing. Too bad this kind of fortune isn't something you can force. Looking at these messages, dripping with cheap taste and the stench of new money, I actually find it a little boring. After tax, he had 4 million, 1.8 million on a car, 180,000 on a watch, plus all his other reckless spending. In just a few short days, his principal has already shrunk by half. He thinks he's crossed into a new class, become a man above men. But in the eyes of truly wealthy people, an upstart with no substance, who only knows how to spend recklessly, is the perfect mark to be fleeced. "Mr. Cole, here's the business acquisition proposal. Let me walk you through the details. Following your instructions, we've completed a full asset acquisition of Xinhui Commercial Street on the east side of the city. The developer's cash flow has collapsed and he's eager to sell. If we acquire it outright, the package price would be around 80 million. I open the proposal, my eyes lingering on photos of the storefronts. That's the busiest, most bustling, highest traffic prime location in this whole city. Good. No need to haggle. Tell the developer I'll pay 90 million on the condition that all transfer paperwork is done within 3 days. Understood, Mr. Cole. I'll get on it right away. And keep this one storefront empty for me. No matter who comes to rent it, without my approval, it's not to be leased out." "Yes, Mr. Cole." Kevin steps out. The vast presidential suite is empty again. Just me alone. Just then my phone screen lights up. Another message from Marcus. This time, it's a mass invitation. "Hey, hometown brothers, this weekend at 8, I booked 2 tables at the Royal International Hotel to celebrate. I just picked up my new ride, brothers. Everyone, please come and honor me with your presence. Tonight, everything's on me." Right after that, he sends me a private message too. "Ryan, I've told everyone in the group. Come and share in the good fortune too. Don't worry, I won't make you chip in. It always broke my heart watching you eat instant noodles. Don't be shy. Just think of it as a chance to see how the other half lives." Every single word oozes an eagerness to strut and gloat in front of me, and it's revolting. He needs a contrast so badly. Without me, his old roommate, as the backdrop, how else could he show off how great he's become? I look at my phone, the corner of my mouth curling into a cold smile. "Since you're so eager to put on a show, I'll go and give you an audience. And while I'm at it, I'll show you what the real world looks like. Saturday night, 8 o'clock. I push open the heavy door of the Emperor's Hall private room. Beneath a huge crystal chandelier sits a round table big enough for 20 people, filled with the same hometown crowd who normally work factory floors and construction sites. Marcus sits right in the center of the head table, the absolute seat of honor. Pressed close beside him is a heavily made-up woman, the very same one from his social feed, Misty the Gold Digger. Oh, well, speak of the devil, here comes our saint, Ryan. Everyone take a look. This is the guy who spent 4 yuan trying to claim 2.5 million as my good brother. Ryan, where'd you rent that suit today? Fits pretty well. 200 yuan a day, huh?" The room erupts in laughter. These hometown folks all came from poor backgrounds too, but now in the face of Marcus reeking of new money, they fall right in line without hesitation. "Ryan, what you pulled wasn't right at all. Bear worked out those numbers. What gives you the right to a share, haha?" "Exactly. Bear's spending tens of thousands on this dinner alone. Go raise a toast and apologize to him. I'll skip the toast. I'm just here to eat. Marcus's expression shifts, clearly displeased by my calm, unyielding attitude. Fine. Got some spine, huh? Bring out the expensive dishes. Australian lobster, king crab, shark fin, abalone, bring it all out. Let's give our poor brother here an eye-opener. The dishes arrive quickly. Marcus rambles on at the table, spit flying, bragging wildly about picking up his Porsche, bragging about dropping 30,000 yuan at a nightclub last night. The hometown folks listen, eyes green with envy, lining up one by one with their glasses to toast him. Every one of them calls him Bear with sickening warmth. After a few rounds of drinks, Marcus's vanity swells to its absolute peak. He wraps his arm around Misty's waist and staggers over to me. Good, isn't it? This top-grade abalone. Back when you were eating instant noodles, you couldn't even dream of this. It's alright. The cooking's a bit off. Compared to the specialty dishes I've been having at the Intercontinental Presidential Suite these past few days, this really does taste like chewing rubber. Keep up the act, why don't you? Ryan, I'll say this once. Money is the one thing I'm not short on now. You couldn't afford one tire off my car in your whole life. Out of consideration for our hometown ties, let me point you toward a way out. Take this money. Starting tomorrow, quit that lousy job of yours and come work as my personal driver. Didn't you always complain my feet smelled and refuse to wash my socks? Well, now you'll not only drive me around, you'll polish my leather shoes to a shine every day too. This 20,000 is your salary for the month. How about it? Ha ha ha. Bear, you're being way too generous with him. 20,000 to hire a useless driver. The hometown crowd all look at me with a mix of complicated expressions. Some envious that I might get 20,000, others just waiting to watch me humiliated. In their eyes, the lure of 20,000 yuan is enough to buy out a poor man's entire dignity. I stare quietly at the 20,000 on the table. In my mind flashes the balance sitting in my bank account. 200,042 yuan. 20,000 yuan. It's not even a single day's interest on my account. I laugh, completely sincere, wide and bright. I press my fingers down on the stack of cash under Marcus's expectant, gloating gaze, and slide it back to him, bit by bit. Bear, I appreciate the thought. I'm just not used to driving that kind of luxury car. Keep this money. Buy your girl a few better bottles of perfume instead. This cheap perfume of hers is giving me a headache. Wishing you a bright future, may every year be as good as this one. With that, I turn and walk away, calm and unhurried, push open the private room door, and step into the hotel's gleaming golden hallway. Behind me, Marcus's furious roar erupts, followed by the shatter of a wineglass. I walk out of the hotel. A cold wind blows past, and the air feels incredibly fresh. The curtain has risen on the real show. Enjoy your celebration while it lasts, Marcus, because your time is running out. 3 months later, at the Intercontinental, in the presidential suite, I sit behind a wide mahogany desk, listening to Kevin's report. Mr. Cole, here's the update on Marcus you asked me to track closely. This guy is a textbook case, a perfect example of an upstart self-destructing. 3 months ago, he had 4 million after tax. He spent 1.8 million on a car in full, about 400,000 on watches and luxury goods, and he's been throwing money around at nightclubs, spending tens of thousands every day. On top of that, Mr. King likes showing off in front of the hometown crowd, lending out money left and right. Those so-called brothers of his never had any intention of paying it back. According to data provided by our contact inside the bank, his account balance is now under 1.5 million. It's easy to get used to luxury, hard to give it up. Now that his money is shrinking, he's starting to panic, isn't he? Yes, very much, so he drives around in his sports car with a young woman by his side. His fixed monthly expenses are at least 100,000. At this rate, he won't make it to next spring, so he's desperate to start a business now, wanting to make money grow money, to keep up his big boss image. Oh? What's he planning? A restaurant. He's set his sights on a storefront on Xinhui Commercial Street, a 3-story unit. He thinks high-end dining is very profitable right now. He's planning to open an extremely lavish, top-tier private seafood restaurant there. Coincidentally, that's the exact storefront you told me 3 months ago to keep vacant no matter what. Has he signed the lease? Not yet. Our acquisition of the entire commercial street just completed all legal procedures this afternoon. Remember, have the property manager handle it directly. The owner behind Windfall Holdings must never be revealed. Yes, understood. Meanwhile, in an upscale cafe on the other side of the city, Marcus sits sweating, calculator in hand, crunching the numbers. Across from him, Misty fiddles impatiently with her freshly done nails. Marcus, can you actually pull this off? The rent on this place alone is 800,000 a year. Add the deposit plus 3 months up front and just the lease will cost over 1 million. What do you know? A woman's shallow thinking. Marcus snaps impatiently, but his eyes can't hide the panic underneath. His account really does have less than 1.5 million left. After paying the rent, he won't even have enough for decent tiles. But the boasting is already out there. Just last night, he sent a big red packet in the hometown group chat, swearing up and down that he's about to break into high-end dining, opening the most luxurious seafood restaurant in the city. The hometown crowd all praised him in the chat, calling him Chairman Bear. If he suddenly backs out now, it would hurt his fragile ego worse than death. This location is the best in the entire city. Once we open, we'll pull in tens of thousands a day. We'll break even in a month. I've got plenty of money. It's just a luxury renovation, right? Get a construction crew, make everything gold and glittering, paint every pillar gold, use the biggest crystal chandeliers you can find. The second people walk in, they need to know I'm rich. Watching Marcus's manic behavior, Misty rolls her eyes and says nothing more. The next morning, Marcus, bank card in hand, walks into the property management office on Xinhui Commercial Street, chin held high. Without hesitation, he signs his name on the lease agreement. With a beep from the card reader, over 1 million yuan in cash is charged straight into Windfall Holdings' corporate account. Marcus looks at his account, now down to 300,000, and feels a flicker of unease. But as he walks out of the office, looking at this massive storefront now his own, seeing his own reflection in the glass door, himself driving his Porsche, he decides it's all worth it after all. What he doesn't know is that behind the very security camera above his head, I'm sitting in my suite, sipping red wine, watching him dig his own grave in real time. Marcus is a man who cares desperately about appearances, and his taste is remarkably vulgar. His restaurant, the private seafood venture, undergoes a loud, splashy renovation. In pursuit of what he calls imperial luxury, he wraps every load-bearing pillar in cheap, gaudy, gold-tone reflective panels, and orders over a dozen huge, cheap, imitation crystal chandeliers online. The entire ground floor ends up looking like an 80s nouveau riche showroom. But this kind of tasteless overspending quickly starts costing him. The remaining 300,000 disappears into pricey materials and labor and a mess of miscellaneous costs, gone without a trace. The construction crew, unpaid for their progress work, stop working and lock the front door. Marcus is truly panicking now. The opening is only 2 weeks away, and he doesn't even have the money to hire a chef, buy furniture, or stock seafood. He considers borrowing from the hometown brothers he's been so close with. But when he calls, they're either building a house or say their wife controls the finances too tightly. Not one of them lends him a single yuan. He finally understands the people who once flocked around him only wanted his money, never him. Just as Marcus hits a dead end, even considering a loan shark, Misty offers him an idea. Marcus, are you dumb? You have fixed assets. You bought that car outright, didn't you? And your house too. Take them to the bank and mortgage them. A proper bank has low interest. With what you own, you could easily get a loan of 3 to 5 million. Once the restaurant opens and business is booming, you'll pay off the loan in a month or two. That's called using the bank's money to make our profit. The moment Marcus hears this, his eyes light up instantly. Why didn't I think of that? Brilliant. He thought of an excuse, bringing his aging parents into the city to enjoy their retirement. A week later, Marcus sits in the credit department of a local commercial bank, signing away without hesitation, pressing his red thumbprint onto the thick mortgage contract. His Porsche Panamera plus his family's house back home. After appraisal, the bank grants him a full 3 million loan. The moment the text alert confirms 3 million has landed in his account, Marcus feels his confidence surge right back. He not only settles the remaining renovation costs, but also spends heavily on a flood of online advertising, hiring over a dozen scantily dressed hostesses, claiming to build the city's top seafood feast. He even arrogantly sends a text to my phone. Ryan, tomorrow at noon, on Xinhui Commercial Street in the east side, my majestic seafood palace holds its grand opening. Don't say I never looked out for you. Come see the place. I'll treat you to a bowl of shark fin soup to rinse your mouth. I read this text on my phone screen while sitting in the backseat of the Rolls-Royce heading to Windfall Holdings' headquarters. The car glides to a smooth stop outside the Windfall building. Kevin, along with over a dozen executives, is already waiting respectfully on either side of the red carpet. Mr. Cole, all the property transfer procedures for Xinhui Commercial Street have been fully completed. From this moment on, every blade of grass, every brick and tile on that street legally belongs to Windfall Holdings, under your name. The storefront directly across from Marcus's place. How's the preparation coming along? Everything's ready, Mr. Cole. It's a unit 3 times the size of Marcus's place, a top-tier 2-story storefront. The interior design was completed by a top international design team, working through the night to finish. Understated luxury with nothing but genuine top-quality materials. A 3 Michelin star chef has already moved his team in. Wild Australian lobster, Russian king crab, Japanese A5 Wagyu. Tonight, all of it arrives via our private plane through cold chain air freight straight to storage. Tomorrow at noon, the exact same moment Marcus opens his place, our Windfall Feast opens too. No cheap influencer marketing. We're spreading the word directly, through the city's high-end circles. Entry by my business card or proof of assets. Opening month, all top-tier seafood, unlimited, at 80% off. Kevin sucks in a sharp breath. Marcus thinks that his 3 million yuan mortgage loan is enough to leverage his way into high-end dining. He has no idea that on the very stage he's so proud of, even the floor beneath his feet is mine. Tomorrow, I'll let him watch with his own eyes as the upstart's dream, built on vanity and borrowed money, shatters into nothing. I'll show him how, in the face of absolute strength, it gets ground into ash, inch by inch. On August 18th, the central plaza of Xinhui Commercial Street is drowned in the deafening roar of drums and gongs. Marcus names his restaurant the Majestic Seafood Palace. For this day, he's thrown every borrowed penny into it. Outside the entrance, a 50-meter red carpet stretches out, flanked by 2 rows of tall hostesses in bright red qipao, shivering in the cold, forcing smiles anyway. Marcus, this spread today is unreal. Look, You even got the city's biggest, most respected businessmen to show up. Of course, you have no idea what your bear is worth these days. If we make a splash today, from now on, this will be the go-to dining spot for the city's elite. He stands behind the big glass door, as if he can already see stacks of cash lining up to flood into his pocket. Just as he's about to have someone light the custom-made firecrackers worth 88,000 yuan directly across the street, separated by just a 12-meter wide walkway, that building, covered by a massive black curtain for a full 2 weeks, 3 stories tall, suddenly stirs to life. No deafening drums, no gaudy red carpet, just a few low, solemn ceremonial cannon blasts, and the massive black curtain falls away, smooth as silk. The smile on Marcus's face freezes. A deep, ominous feeling rises in his chest. When did a place like this appear right across from him? Just then, a motorcade suddenly rolls in from the street corner, not a single car worth less than 3 million, pulling up silently outside Windfall Feast. Every man in a sharp suit, the kind of real power players usually only seen in local business news, guided by white-gloved valets, strolls in through the understated entrance, smiling. Marcus stares hard, eyes practically bulging out. Among them are several local Chamber of Commerce leaders he'd spent a fortune trying to reach through connections but never even got to meet. And what happens next completely shatters what's left of his composure. On the giant LED screen across the street, a line of text quietly lights up, Windfall Feast. Soft opening today, no private room fees, no service charges. Live Australian seafood, Russian king crab, Japanese Kobe beef all included. To celebrate our opening, 80% off, no minimum spend. The words 80% off hit like 2 sledgehammers slamming into the back of Marcus's skull. Seafood dining has extremely high costs, especially airlifted top-tier live seafood. Even at cost, there's no way to sell it at 80% off. That place across the street isn't running a business. It's burning money. It's throwing millions upon millions of cash straight into a furnace in front of every passerby on the street. The customers who'd been drawn in by Marcus's own discount promotion see the sign and the insane discount across the street, and instantly surge like a tide toward Windfall Feast. The place across the street is packed. Luxury cars gathered outside, waitstaff in tailcoats rushing off their feet. Meanwhile, at Marcus's majestic seafood palace, only the 2 rows of hostesses in red chipao stand awkwardly in the cold. For the entire afternoon, not a single fly flies into Marcus's restaurant. Meanwhile, I sit in my office on the top floor of the Windfall building, watching the big screen, live footage streamed back from a drone. I lift the wine glass off my desk and take a slow sip. Marcus, this is only day 1. 2 weeks later, in the fish tanks at the majestic seafood palace, dead fish have started floating to the surface. Marcus's eyes are bloodshot from sleepless nights. Windfall Feast across the street is packed every single day, reservations already booked out into next month. Customers would rather wait in line across the street than set foot inside his restaurant. Every day now, the moment he opens his eyes, it's 10,000 yuan in rent, plus staff wages, kitchen costs, utilities. After just 2 weeks, most of his cash flow has already been drained. Worse still, calls from the bank's credit department start coming in like a death sentence, reminding him that next month's massive loan payment is coming due. Misty, how much money do you have left? Give it to me to cover the gap for now. Are you kidding me, Marcus? My spending money can barely buy a handbag. Besides, you were the one who said you'd support me. Now you're asking me for money? If this dump of a restaurant really can't survive, just shut it down already, before you drag the Porsche down with it too. Bullshit. Giving up isn't a word in my vocabulary. Marcus's pride will not let him go bankrupt. Since he can't win head-on, he turns to the only path left, cheating. That night, Marcus calls in the head chef, who's paid 20,000 a month, and fires him on the spot. You've ruined this business. Don't bother coming in tomorrow. Mr. King, do you know what ingredients they're using across the street? And what am I supposed to work with here? You want me to compete with wild-caught Australian lobster using farmed river shrimp? This is on you, not me. Don't blame my cooking skills. After driving out the head chef, Marcus drives through the night, straight into the rundown outskirts, to a black market wholesale market that reeks of rot year-round. Boss, you want the cheap stuff, right? How much for all this? Hey. Live seafood, 100 a piece. Dead seafood, 10 yuan a pound. As long as your kitchen loads it up with strong flavoring and chili, dresses it as spicy crab or boiled fish, most people can't tell the difference. Fine, load up a truckload, for me. Also, do you have that high-end counterfeit liquor? Sure do. 150 a bottle. Packaging looks exactly like the real thing. The barcode even scans as authentic. Just gives you a headache after a few drinks. That night, Marcus hauls a truckload of stomach-turning, low-grade ingredients and counterfeit liquor, smuggling it all in through the restaurant's back door. He thinks he's found the perfect way to turn things around, at rock-bottom cost, run a so-called bargain basement promotion. As long as he can lure in walk-in customers, every sale brings in profit. Just enough to cover the loan interest for now. What he doesn't know is that every security camera on Xinhui Commercial Street, including the one right at his back door, feeds directly into my executive office. I sit in my leather chair, watching on the monitor as Marcus, sneaking like a thief, carries the reeking dead fish and shrimp into the kitchen. I feel not a trace of anger, only a deep pity and a bitter kind of amusement. A man knocked senseless by 5 million yuan, trying to fill the pit of greed he dug with his own hands, has now thrown away even the most basic decency. I pick up the phone on my desk, switch on speakerphone, and dial the city's market supervision hotline. I'm a concerned citizen. I'd like to file a report under my own name. Storefront 16 on Xinhui Commercial Street East Side, the Majestic Seafood Palace. They're suspected of buying spoiled, rotten seafood and selling large quantities of counterfeit premium liquor. The evidence is solid. All the delivery footage and black market transaction records I've already sent to your office's public complaint email. I hang up the phone, walk over to the floor-to-ceiling window. The sky outside is heavy and gray, as if a storm is about to break. The next day, at noon, Marcus forces a smile and hangs a banner outside. Special prices, real rewards for our guests. Maybe because the line across the street at Windfall Feast is simply too long to join, a scattering of bargain-hunting walk-ins actually gets lured in by his banner. In a booth upstairs, 4 rough-looking men in loud shirts sit hunched over a plate of spicy king crab, digging in. Hey, this liquor tastes off. Why does it burn my throat? And this crab meat is mushy, tastes like it's gone bad. Gentlemen, this is genuine liquor, freshly stocked. And this seafood was caught fresh this morning. Maybe the kitchen went a little heavy on the chili today. How about I give you all 20% off? 20% off, my ass? You're feeding us fake liquor and rotten seafood. Just as chaos breaks out in the dining hall and Marcus is nearly on his knees in fear, several uniformed inspectors, faces stern, stride in through the door. We've received a formal citizen complaint. This establishment is suspected of serious food safety violations. Team 1, secure the site. Team 2, inspect the kitchen ingredients. Team 3, check the storage records against the delivery invoices. At those words, Marcus's legs give out, and he collapses onto the marble floor. It's over. The only thought left in his mind. In under 10 minutes, the inspectors haul out of the storeroom a full 20 boxes of counterfeit liquor. The reeking dead seafood in the kitchen is seized in front of everyone. The customers clutch their stomachs and start retching on the spot. This is an extremely serious violation, with severe public impact. By law, this establishment is hereby sealed and shut down. A fine of 500,000 yuan is imposed. Given the scale of counterfeit goods involved, the amount is substantial. The business owner will come with us for questioning immediately. 2 cross seals are pasted across the grand glass doors of the Majestic Seafood Palace. But this is only the beginning of Marcus's nightmare. Just as Marcus is about to be loaded into the enforcement vehicle, a black Mercedes van pulls up to the curb. Kevin, in a sharply tailored suit, steps out. Mr. King, I presume? I'm the legal director of Windfall Holdings, here on behalf of your landlord, to formally deliver notice of lease termination. What are you doing? I've paid a full year's rent and deposit. What right do you have to terminate the lease? You are required to vacate the premises within 3 days, otherwise we will pursue legal action. Per the contract terms, if the tenant during the lease period is subject to administrative penalties for illegal operations that damage the reputation of the entire commercial street, the landlord reserves the right to terminate the lease unconditionally and unilaterally. You have 3 days to remove your belongings, or we will have them removed by force. Misty, who's been watching quietly from the sidelines, sees the writing on the wall and steps forward. She pulls a set of car keys from her bag and tosses them on the ground. Marcus, now that you're broke, there's nothing left between us. Here's your worthless Porsche back. I'm done playing this game. In just one afternoon, his restaurant is gone, his money is gone, and his girlfriend has left. Because of the illegal operations, he's immediately blacklisted as a defaulter. The moment the bank hears the news, it petitions the court for asset seizure and immediately tows away his Porsche, barely driven, still warm from the road. And on top of that, it seals off the house where his parents still live back home. 4 million in lottery winnings plus 3 million in loans. He squandered every last yuan of it, and still owes the bank nearly 2 million. As Marcus is loaded into the enforcement vehicle, he looks across the street at Windfall Feast, still ablaze with light, luxury cars still coming and going. Then he looks at his own place, the Majestic Seafood Palace, sealed with white tape. Even now, he still doesn't understand what god he's crossed, to be crushed like this, wiped out in a beatdown from an entirely different league. In a dark, damp basement in the city's urban village, a sharp, moldy stench hangs in the air, mixed with the sour smell of cheap instant noodles. I know you're in there. Your 3 million loan is seriously overdue. Sure, the house and car have been auctioned off, but after depreciation and penalty fees, you still owe 1.8 million. Pay up, now. Marcus buries his head under a yellowed blanket, trembling like a leaf. Ever since the Majestic Seafood Palace was shut down, his whole world has collapsed. Blacklisted as a defaulter, he can't even ride the high-speed train, and no legitimate factory will hire him. The debt collection agencies keep relentless watch on him too. Even going out to collect trash for cash, he has to constantly watch for anyone who might recognize him. The pounding on the door outside lasts half an hour. Finally, after a string of vicious curses fades into the distance, Marcus lets out a long breath of relief, collapsing onto the bed like a heap of mud. He's starving. Ever since he finished his last pack of instant noodles 3 days ago, he's survived on nothing but tap water. Trembling, he pulls out his phone, its screen shattered like a spiderweb, hoping to find some off-the-books day labor job online just to eat. But the moment he opens his browser, a local business news alert stabs at his eyes. Windfall Holdings strikes again. Mysterious young chairman invests 300 million to acquire the city's new Southside landmark. The photo in the article shows a skyscraper piercing the clouds, the headquarters of Windfall Holdings itself. Staring at the word Windfall, Marcus's eyes flush red instantly. He's asked around before. The landlord who bought out the entire Xinhui commercial street opened that restaurant right across from him and drove him to ruin as the chairman of this very Windfall Holdings. Word is, this mysterious mogul is remarkably young, with connections everywhere and wealth beyond measure. Staring at that gleaming tower in the article, Marcus's stomach twists in pain. He knows that if he keeps hiding like this, he'll either die of sickness or starvation. Only the one who caused the problem can fix it. If this powerful figure can crush him with a flick of a finger, then maybe if the man shows mercy, he can survive too. With that thought, Marcus grabs at this idea like a drowning man clutching a lifeline. Outside, the rain pours down hard. Marcus walks 20 kilometers and finally arrives at the foot of the Windfall building. In front of the tower, several burly guards in crisp uniforms stand at the entrance. "Stop right there, what are you doing?" "Sir, I need to see your chairman." "See our chairman? Do you have an appointment?" "Get out of here, you filthy beggar. This isn't the place for you. Don't dirty our carpet." Marcus completely breaks down. All pretense of dignity gone, he sobs and wails. "Please, I beg the chairman, give me a way to live. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have opened a restaurant across from you. I shouldn't have sold fake liquor. Please, show me mercy. Give me a break." His wretched cries draw stares from passers-by. The head of security frowns and reaches for his radio, ready to have this madman dragged away. Suddenly, in his earpiece, a low, clear instruction comes through. The chairman says to let him up. Thank you, sir. Thank you, chairman, for this kindness." Marcus is ushered into a fully glass private express elevator. The doors open. Kevin adjusts his wireframe glasses and pushes open the door. Marcus swallows hard, shuffling carefully into the office. It's a massive office, easily 200 square meters. Beyond the huge floor-to-ceiling windows, the entire bustling city stretches out below. "Chairman, I know I was blind and foolish to act out on your turf. I've lost everything now. The bank hounds me every day for that 2 million. I can't even afford food. Please give me a way to live, I'm begging you. I know the whole commercial street is yours. Just say the word, and the bank could give me a few years' grace. Please, give me a way to live." Marcus's words come out choked with tears, putting himself at the lowest, most groveling posture imaginable. He thinks that if he's pitiful enough, this untouchable tycoon might feel a shred of pity for him. But instead, the man behind the wide desk makes no sound at all. A full 30 seconds pass. Then a calm, cool voice, one that makes Marcus's soul tremble with recognition, rings out through the empty office. "Bear, this handmade carpet is very expensive. Looks like the mud on you just got it dirty." The instant he hears that voice, it's as if lightning strikes Marcus straight through the skull. The blood in his veins freezes solid. He jerks his head up. The leather executive chair slowly turns around. "Long time no see, Mr. King. How was the Porsche? Good ride?" "Ryan? How could it be you? Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. You're just some broke fool who haggled over 4 yuan. You barely made 5,000 a month. How could you possibly be the chairman of Windfall Holdings? I get it now. Some rich woman must be keeping you, right? You're just a figurehead, a puppet. You're nothing but a kept man. What right do you have to sit there and judge me?" Overwhelming jealousy and a shattered ego strip away every ounce of Marcus's reason. He even forgets he came here to beg. He struggles to rise and lunge at me. I don't so much as raise an eyebrow. The 2 guards behind him immediately step in and restrain him. Unhurried, I pull from a drawer a photocopy prepared long ago. It's the official winning receipt, issued at the Provincial Lottery Center's top-tier very important person payout office, stamped with a bright red official seal. I hold the edge of the paper and set it gently down on the desk. Open your eyes wide and read the name and the numbers on it carefully. I forgot to mention, on the night of the drawing, while you were up front watching the live broadcast, I quietly bought 50 more tickets with the exact same numbers you calculated. For that measly 5 million, you turned on me like a rabid dog. And while you humiliated me with those 4 yuan, I had 250 million tucked in my pocket. No, this can't be true. You're lying to me. In this moment, Marcus finally understands. He understands why I stayed silent and calm back at the lottery kiosk. He understands why Windfall Holdings so precisely bought up the very street he was on. He understands why that top-tier restaurant spared no expense slashing prices to 80% off, just to destroy him. It turns out, from the very moment he tried to hoard that 5 million alone, throwing 4 1 yuan coins at my feet, he had already dug, with his own hands, a grave from which there was no return. If he hadn't been so greedy, if he hadn't burned that bridge, even if he'd only kept 2.5 million for himself, given our 3 years of friendship, with 200 million in my hands, I could have easily thrown some resources his way. He could have truly risen to a new class of life. But he took a god of fortune with his own hands and turned it into the reaper who'd send him to hell. Overwhelming regret and a devastating fall from grace overload Marcus's mind in an instant. He loses it completely. "Ryan, Mr. Cole, I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. It's my fault. It's all my fault. For the sake of 3 years living together, please forgive me just this once. You have 200 million. 2 million is nothing to you. Not even worth a hair off your leg. Please just pay off my loan. If I'd known it would come to this, why did I ever start it? Your fate has nothing to do with me. Everything I've done simply follows the most basic rules of business. You chose to open that restaurant. You chose to take out that loan. You chose to sell fake liquor. From start to finish, I haven't broken a single law. So the fact that you've ended up like this today is entirely your own doing. No, you can't just watch me die. We're childhood friends. You're so rich now, why can't you give a brother a hand? Take him down. If I remember correctly, there are debt collectors waiting for him downstairs. Debts must be paid. That's the natural order of things. We run a legitimate business here. Let go of me. I'm not going down there. Ryan, you're a monster. You'll get what's coming to you. I rise from my seat and walk to the great floor-to-ceiling window. Outside, the storm that had raged for 3 days straight has stopped, sometime without my noticing. Down in the plaza below, I can just make out a tiny figure, small as an ant, being forced by several burly men into the back of a beat-up van, which then vanishes into the flow of traffic. No gunfights, no bloody revenge, just the cold precision of a business war, and total domination under the letter of the contract. I turn around. Kevin already stands respectfully at the door. Mr. Cole, the chairman for the 5 billion yuan acquisition in the North High Tech District, is already waiting for you in the conference room. Understood. I straighten my suit cuffs. In this world, the ugly farce that belonged to Marcus has finally come to an end.